Hello everyone, today we will study the second section of Chapter 2. We have talked about TCM. It's not only a kind of medicine, it is a kind of culture. Philosophical thought is one important element of Chinese culture. The formation and the development of TCM was deeply influenced not only by Qi monism, but also by yin-yang theory and five-element theory. For today's class, let's explore the physiological basis of TCM. Let's get started from yin-yang theory. Yin-yang theory is a plain dialectical thought based on materialism as well as a unique worldview and methodology to understand and explain the origin and change of the universe. Yin-yang theory states that the world is a material unity which continuously develops and changes under the interaction of yin-qi and yang-qi. The early meaning of yin and yang were quite simple. The side facing the sun is yang, and the reverse side is yin. Since the yang side is always warm, bright, and more plants, while the yin side cold, dim, and less plants, then the meaning of yin and yang are gradually extended. Yang is defined as locating in the south of the mountain and the north of the river, while yin is defined as locating in the north of the mountain and the south of the river. Our city, which is called Xianyang, means double yang. The reason for the special name is that our city is located in the south of Jiuzhong Mountain and the north of Wei River. Therefore, it belongs to yang, whatever from the mountain view or from the river view. The TCM classical book Su Wen says that water and fire are the symbols of yin and yang. From here, we can see that yin and yang has been used as symbols. Generally speaking, yin is used to describe the things or phenomena which are cold, static, dark, interior, downward, etc. While yang is used to describe things or phenomena which are warm, active, bright, exterior, upward, etc. For example, the sun and the moon. The sun is much brighter and warmer, while the moon is much darker and cooler. Therefore, the sun belongs to yang, while the moon belongs to yin. Things that yin is used to describe the things or phenomena which are cold, static, dark, interior, downward, etc. While yang is used to describe things or phenomena which are warm, active, bright, exterior, upward, etc. Then, how to define the yin-yang characters for the following things, such as car versus house, such as star versus table, such as flower versus bird. No matter which one you will pick up as yang and which one as yin, the answer would be wrong. Actually, this is a trick. The couple things here have no relationship with each other, so we can't define their yin-yang characters. Because we can't define the things or phenomena, the yin-yang characters, which are unrelated each other. Only the opposite aspects of mutually related things or phenomena can be attributed to yin or yang. During the applying and developing of yin and yang, the ancient Chinese people realized that everything in the universe has two opposite aspects, whose interactions promoted development and change. So the two words were given some philosophical meaning. I Jing, another classical book, says, alternating between yin and yang is called Tao. Tao means the basic law of the universe. Follow the sort of toys which obey the rules in the nature. With the applying of yin and yang in people's daily life, yin and yang theory was gradually developed to refer to the opposite aspects or mutually related things or phenomena in the natural world. The theory of yin-yang and the dialectical way of thinking was applied to the TCM field to be one of the philosophical bases. As the yin-yang theory was introduced into TCM, this theory was used to explain the organic structure of the human body, explain the physiological functions and the pathological changes of the human body, as well as guide the diagnosis and treatment. When the yin-yang theory is used to explain the body structure, the upper part belongs to yang, while the lower part belongs to yin. The exterior part belongs to yang, while the interior part belongs to yin, because the upper part and the exterior part are all exposed to much more sunlight compared to the other part. For the back and the abdomen, back belongs to yang. That is due to the back facing the sun during the ancient farmers walking. Head and the foot are easy to be classified, similar with the upper and the lower part. For explaining the physiological functions of the human body, according to the yin-yang theory, our human body includes qi, essence, blood, and body fluid. Among all the four basic materials, qi belongs to yang because it's invisible and active, much more energy, while essence, blood, and body fluid belongs to yin because they are visible and inactive, less energy. From the view of TCM and yin-yang theory, our body will be healthy when yin and yang stay in a balanced condition, while be unhealthy when the balance of yin and yang was broke. So we need to obey the rules of nature, obey the principle of yin and yang in order to keep the balance between yin and yang. In our clinical practice, one of the questions concerned by most patients is why we got sick. A simple way to answer the question is tell the patient that a lot of pathological factors could injure yin or and yang, then induce an imbalance yin and yang, which means disease. Here are examples how to explain the pathological changes by using yin-yang theory. Generally speaking, yang represents energy. It can be induced excessive heat if there are excessive yang in our body. For this kind of condition, we call it heat excess syndrome. Excessive yin can induce excessive cold, which is called cold excess syndrome. In some different conditions, yang or yin may be deficient. Deficient yang would induce a relative cold syndrome, and deficient yin would induce a relative heat syndrome. Because the balance means health according to the TCM theory, so regulating yin and yang is the best way to restore its balance. In TCM, prevention is more important than treatment because the balance can be easily achieved by regulating the yin and yang when they are in a slight imbalance instead of severe imbalance. One of the advantages of TCM is regulation. To avoid further development of disease, slight imbalance can be improved by tiny TCM treatments. The yin-yang theory is used in not only determining diagnostic principles, but summarizing the nature, flavor, and action of medicinal herbs. Therefore, providing a theoretical basis for the clinical application of herbs. According to the yin-yang theory, Chinese herbs with cold nature belong to yin, while Chinese herbs with warm and hot nature belong to yang. We just talked about the syndromes according to the yin and yang theory, and for treating these syndromes, the treatment can be selected according to the yin-yang theory. For example, for treating the heat excess syndrome, the cold-natured herbs can be selected. Because cold-natured herbs remove the excessive heat from the body to help the body recover from the imbalance of yin and yang. Okay, we talked about the meaning of yin and yang and the developing and forming of yin-yang theory, as well as the application of yin-yang theory in TCM. That's all for today. See you next class.